Let's just run it.
All right, all right.
I'm not hands tied. I got all the stuff still happening. I can't make no more dials. Look in the phone, go through anything again. I'm
Oh,
just chilling right now. Oh,
yes. Yeah. So, I mean, Ray, tell me when you're ready. Yes. So today we're doing a interesting conversation with a buddy of mine, recording artist extraordinaire, someone
but
I've known for a long
wait, wait,
time.
wait, wait, wait. With a friend, with a friend,
Though you don't want to say recording
with
artist.
with a friend,
Oh yeah, with a
and I'm
friend.
an artist.
Yeah.
I'm an artist. I'm many type of artist.
Okay.
I'm a recording artist. I'm a business artist. I'm a I'm a lifestyle artist. I'm a I'm a visual artist.
Okay.
I'm an artist.
Yeah, I know you to be an artist. You're very creative. That much I can say. That much I can say. You're you're real. You go to your meditation. I would say, in a sense, it's religious. Every day you meditate and get your thoughts together before you start your day, and that's something I've been
Yeah,
knowing for you to be doing for years. Is what's
right.
actually kept you or keep you level-headed and insane. And even sometimes when you have to like, you're like so shy.
Sane or insane?
Go,
Which one?
what is that?
Sane or insane? Because sometimes the thought process people don't really think it's a sane process. So you got to ask. Sometimes is it sane or is it insane? You know.
Uh, yeah, that's true. That's true because most people you say sane, and other people might think they're insane just based on things that they would say.
Right.
So it's
And then you what is
subjective.
sane, right?
What is it? Repeat.
So you have to figure out what is true. Like one of my digital mentors is Ray Dalio, which is a billionaire, and
Mm-hmm.
he's dropping principles of how he got to the level.
Right, right.
Today's principle was create environment, right? I'll tell you
Mm-hmm.
that create environment in which create an environment in which everyone has the right to understand what makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No one has the right to hold a critical opinion without speaking up.
True, true.
And then he further says whether people have the independence and the character to fight for the best answers will depend upon their nature.
True.
But you can encourage them by creating an atmosphere in which everyone's first thought is to ask, is it true? So let's start that practice now in this conversation.
So before we started recording, you said that you said that you were meditating.
Life,
Was that the meditation?
yes.
Was that what the meditation was about?
No, I like that this came after the meditation in terms of into my atmosphere after the meditation.
Mm-hmm.
What was the meditation was, people always say everybody got to die, and we just accept it.
Right.
Like, oh, it's a natural process. And I'm like, is it true?
That everybody has to die.
Yeah.
I think.
So in the Bible,
Okay.
a couple people didn't die.
Like whom? Who would you say?
The first one I would come to mind would be Jesus rose from the dead, right?
But but if
The
he rose
second
from
one is like Elijah, somebody that was taken up
hold
into the
hold
heavens,
on. Before we go
right?
to Elijah, when you
Who?
mentioned Jesus, didn't you just say that if everybody have to die, wouldn't you say that Jesus died before the resurrection?
Yes, yes. I would say he died before the resurrection, which what I'm saying is we can avoid even that.
How?
Like,
How?
I mean, all we But we're thinkers. We're people. We're human beings. We have the ability to observe ourselves and just chill and not do nothing until you do the right thing. If you're in the right position and atmosphere, like Ray says,
But wouldn't
which
you?
is why that
Would
part comes in nice and
if I may, wouldn't you say that's a bit subjective because that's Ray's opinion? That's not based on facts. It's not theoretical. It's actually based on fact. So that
well. Let's
everybody
look
and
at
everything
what is
dies.
the no. Ray says everything dies too. He says that there's a process. I didn't say Ray says that. That's not true. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm saying, is that true? That's what I'm asking. Do we really all have to die, or do we have to die? In the beginning, we had eternal life. If we're going by scriptures again, right?
That's if
And
we're
we ate
going by
some apple.
scriptures.
Yeah, and we ate some apple, and now you're dead, right? So
That's what was said that we ate some apple and now we die. But as history would have it, and the facts would have it, that's not true. That the apple was just a metaphor.
well, again, is it true or is it not true? Because
What?
one, you're saying that the process of dying is a must. That's what your strong proof is, right?
Yes.
And I'm saying maybe not. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so let's question the maybe not. Why you say maybe not? Obviously, I'm thinking based on my my understanding of what you're saying or my lack thereof understanding of what you're saying that maybe not, maybe but maybe not. So let's question that. Let's unpack it. What do you mean by maybe not? What gave you that?
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, recently my cousin passed from cancer,
Okay.
and you know, I really just thought the doctors were really handling it, and they would give her the best advice
Mhm.
in the medical system,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I've come to learn because at the end it was critical, and I was like, "What's happening? Why aren't they giving her the stuff that they need to give her?" I've come to learn the treatment that she was on, which is a chemo vibe. But I also learned that maybe chemo is also a killer, and then maybe chemo is something to keep you longer so that the medical system could drain. These are just things I've read, heard, rumors, you know, conspiracy theorists. All of that came to the energy. But when reading the other things, the scientifical stuff, the factual stuff that's happening right now, there are treatments that not is not necessarily cancer treatment
Mhm.
that elong life from your telomeres, and there's oxygen, carbon chambers, and stuff like that that's happening that's elongating life. Now, of course, life is not just health, right? You got to drive, and then accidents happen, and then they got to take you that way. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
again, if you look at the Eastern or even the Western philosophy that you have to die, is like the Earth is waiting to eat you. You get what I'm saying? So we're living off the Earth. It fattens you up. It fattens you up. You get all
Just to
the
have you
food.
for
You get
dinner.
just to have you for dinner, son. You feel me? So
that's that's kind of a odd way to look at it, but it makes sense because we're born of the earth, we eat of the earth, we exist and breathe from the earth. Everything that we consume, our our essence is of the earth, and then those of
right,
us that eat abundantly or excessively tends to gain weight, and then they gain so much weight that they can't bear to carry themselves anymore, and then they're nice and fat and juicy. And the earth says, "Okay, dinner is served." dinner, dinner is served, and then here then
Right.
like I say, dinner is served. All the topping with all the toppings.
Okay. So you see where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So now, if we stop dying
Mhm.
in terms of whatever we do scientifically, right now we're trying to elongate. That's dope. But I'm going for stop dying. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Because so much is lost when a person dies, yo. All of the experience, the knowledge that could have been taught, that could have been, you know what I mean? The potential of what they could really do is gone, yo. You know what I mean? Even the ones that's doing it, like that's the Steve Jobs, the Benjamin Banneker, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
The Martin Luther. You feel me?
Mhm.
Of course, you got to think about my man Marcus Garvey. Imagine him. You saw what he did. Is just he was just there for a spark, for a second.
Right. And
See
and
where he
and
could
not
go.
to and not to mention Nikolai Tesla. Nikolai Tesla is oof, that that was an inventor
Um,
of the ages.
even Einstein. Right now, where would
Right.
Einstein be? Right?
Right.
You get me?
Right.
So,
So you're saying if these individuals were still alive, where we would have been by now?
not saying that it would have been a great place because they did invent the bomb, right? So now we have to work on the psychological aspect of living forever. So I was looking at the
Wait,
pros and
wait,
the
wait.
cons of
Let's not
making a person live
hold on,
forever.
hold on. Let's not conflate both of those things because we talk about uh, Benjamin Banneker, Marcus Garvey, uh, Dr. Martin Luther King, uh, Nikolai Tesla,
Einstein.
Einstein, and then you say they did invent the bomb. So let's not conflate both of those things because people
Okay,
that are
let's
listening
say
might be
this.
thinking that
Let's
these
say
people
this.
that you mentioned are
Sorry,
the ones that created the
sorry. Let's
bomb.
say this. Let's say this. Intelligence invented the bomb. So we're using life as intelligence, okay? As
Okay.
a it's eternal. Let's not look at it as an individual life. Let's look at it as an eternal intelligence, collective intelligence
Okay. Okay.
that each person does live forever, collectively. You get me?
So yeah, I do, but remember we are all interconnected. We're all interconnected. We are all related. It doesn't matter
Oh,
how it doesn't matter how the separationists always say that there's this race or that race or we all came from the same origin. We're all connected.
well, scientifically, it makes sense, right? Because I can invent something that changes the whole world, and
Mhm.
you got to use it, like electricity or something. You
Correct.
know what I mean?
Correct.
It makes sense. And even on those little levels, we don't know how interconnected we are. You get what I'm trying to say? But
Right.
on the bigger level, life, preserving it, keeping it, it's pretty precious. Even though a lot of people don't value it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But they don't understand. I don't think they don't understand the value of it. Maybe it's like they see it so much. There's so much people around until it's time they gotta go,
Mhm.
including themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but that's the course of life. A long time ago, people were dying much earlier. They were dying. Their life expectancy were in their 20s and 30s, and if they lived to 50, they were old. They were their life expectancy was very short. Now people are living to 80, 90. But before that time of the life expectancy being 40, 50 years old, when people going off to war, lots of people were dying early. There were many sicknesses. They had no cures for it, so life expectancy was short. But before that point, people were living for hundreds of years, right? But at
Well,
some
we
but at
know for
some point they
sure.
still died.
You don't know for sure.
What do you mean
These
we
are
don't know
myths.
for sure?
I mean, show me the proof.
I mean, well, let me not
Why
say
can't
I mean.
I this now?
There, say that again.
Who lived 100 years? In terms of hundreds of years, 200 years. The Bible says this, but we're like thousands. I don't know how many generations down from the Bible's um, interpretation of hundreds of years, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking this up while we're talking.
Right.
Hmm.
So proof.
I,
Who
I
lived up? Who lived 100 years?
I'll give you a
Now
good
you have
example.
proof.
There's a
In,
woman. There's a. I'm gonna look this up, but there's a good example. There's a woman that was recently interviewed. I think it was earlier on this year, right? And obviously you've heard of people being said. It's been said that people have lived for 100 years, 110 years, and one of the things they said that the oldest living person was a European woman. I think she was. Uh, don't quote me on this, but I think she was like 115 years old or 12 years old.
keep the conversation, if you
Huh?
don't mind.
What I said?
If you don't mind, if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to keep the conversation on the facts that we can prove right now
Oh, hold
and
on.
science of
I'm
it.
going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. Just give me a second. Back a few years ago, I think it was 2023. There was a woman that was brought to attention that she was, I believe, 100 and the oldest living woman. I think she was 115 at the time, right? But recently, in this year, they interviewed a woman in Jamaica, and she is 141
What?
years old. Facts,
Saw that one.
right?
Yeah, I saw that
And her
one. Right.
children, she has children. She had them when she was in her 20s, and all the children are alive. All the children are alive, and they're 80 something, 100 and something years old, and her grandchildren are in their 50s and 60s, right? And
Right.
she has to be the oldest living woman, and she's 141. By the middle of this year, she's going to be 142 years old. So she's the oldest living human being right now, and she's healthy. She don't even wear glasses like you and I, right? No
Right.
contacts, nothing on her. She sees very clean and clear, and all she primarily eat are fruits and vegetables. Or medications are actually the from the earth. She use oh, to
All
grind
right.
up.
What are you saying about?
Go
What are you
ahead.
saying? What are you saying about?
I'm saying if in modern time that she is living to be 141 years old, to be soon to be 142, and going back to what I was
Not
saying
for you.
about
It's not.
hold on, going back before that, people were living, their life expectancy was, if they're 50 they're old, but before that people were living for hundreds of years. So that's why I say I'm going to look up, but I wanted to bring that to the forefront of our discussion, because there's a woman that's 141 years old and in great health condition. She looked like a
She's
normal
not
old
140.
person. Go ahead.
She's not 141. She's 121.
121.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I stand corrected. My apologies. So let me double check. I have the
Lady from Jamaica,
what you
and
said.
the prime minister went to her and gave her a happy birthday for that day because she was the oldest living in Jamaica.
Yeah,
I don't know where else.
120. Maybe I missed watch, but I could almost sure that it was
So here's what.
141.
You are 141 years old?
Right now.
That it was
So here's what.
141.
Time is short. So I got a couple of clients to link up with, but here's what I wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to why shouldn't we solve the live forever issue? I think we should, and I think we can.
How?
It's just going to take everybody working together. Now, that's going to take a whole lot of mentals, and that's going to take a financial shift and a mental shift about finance.
Because you say everybody would have to put their resources together to figure out how to live forever.
Well, that would be a great goal for everybody to work together on. One, that's common what you call it? That's common interest. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
That's a common interest. Just like money. Money is a common interest. So maybe we could money it up. Like you do this for the interest of living forever for everybody, and you get a common interest credit. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
But anyway,
it's definitely
that's
going to take resource. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this to you. 122 years and 164 days. Okay. The longest documented and verified human lifespan is that of Jean Calment of France, 1875 to 1997. A woman lived to age 122 years and 164 days. She received news media attention in 1985 after turning 110. Clement's claim was investigated and authenticated by Jean Marie Robin and Dr. Michel Allard for the GRG. So 122, and we're talking about the Jamaican woman. You
she's 121. She ain't beat 122 yet.
you sure she's? Hold on, man.
I don't know, but let's not stay in the weeds. Let's go back to the bigger picture.
All right.
Solving the death issue. Now, we could do it on spiritual levels where it makes sense. We could do it on a scientific level where it makes sense. Let's do it on a scientific level. Okay?
Okay.
They're increasing the ability for you to regenerate your cells with the telomeres and these oxygen chambers and different life treatments that I'm hearing for DNA and all of that, right?
Right.
So if you can elongate, then the next issue then is to prevent, maybe preventative bullets that's programmed not to shoot real innocent people because it lie detects. You get what I'm trying to say?
It life detects.
Lie detects. The bullet detects is like a lie detector. This person is really trying to kill me. Let me shoot him. Let the bullet go in him. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
This person is not really trying to shoot anybody. This is an innocent bystander. It shuts down.
So
You
you're saying that if the bullet detects that it's going to hit a person that's innocent, it will just shut down. So it's a smart
Yes,
bullet.
smart bullet. Yes.
Hmm. But even with a smart bullet,
Now
the
you're
life.
killing.
Go
Right?
ahead.
So now you're killing still, right? Maybe a smart bullet can shoot the person where it won't kill him, destabilize him.
Hmm. I that's kind of far fetched. I don't see how that's possible.
All possible if we make it happen. The um the problem is making it happen if we want to spend time on it or not. Is that worth the spending the time on it? Again, maybe we go back deeper where the mentality is where we spend the time on. Why should you take another brother's life if they're not trying to hurt you? What's the mentality behind that? You go into that and work on that in terms of building the society better.
Greed, anger.
Right. So you will work on all the emotions. You work through all the problems of that, all the trauma, you start training the kids to be doper. You feel me?
How we
More
gonna train?
intelligent.
How? Okay. Let's talk about training the kids to be doper, as you say in your words. How are we gonna stop them from growing up and doing
That's
vile
a,
things to?
I don't want to go into that one. I would not. I prefer not to talk about that part. Let's go into the issue of the cons and the of extending life. What's the con? What we talked about? Overpopulation.
Overpopulation,
What else?
uh, food shortage, water
That's
shortage.
overpopulation. That's still overpopulation. That's under overpopulation. What else? Oh, the earth. The earth wouldn't replenish if we were, well, again, we went to the animals, right? That the animals would still replenish the earth if we let the animals die, right?
If the,
But
ani- the ani-
there's
if the
gonna be
animal
animal activists
and if the animal
that's gonna.
die, if the animal dies, or let's say we won't have enough animals that's growing fast enough to feed, even with modern technology about fast reproducing chickens and pigs and cows, even with modern tech.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think technology is advanced enough to feed the whole world. They got underground in-house farms. They got greenhouses. They got all sorts of things growing without sun, without. They got all sorts of things made up, and they're growing year round. So it's just scaling, really. So food is
I,
not a real
I
issue,
built.
and reality is we're already eating genetically modified foods.
Mm, we are, but I still don't think that's
We are.
sustainable. I
I mean, it has the nutrition. It has all the stuff that the regular stuff has.
No, it doesn't. They they
I don't know.
they.
I don't know, so I won't speak on that. I don't know. I won't speak on it, and I'm not gonna search it up right now.
No, you don't have to
But
search it up.
let's say
I'm telling you based on my knowledge that it's void of the nutrition, the natural nutrition that the earth put inside of it when it's genetically modified. Like
okay.
uh, I've
Well,
done a test where I put an apple on the counter from 1 year. I have it for 10 months sitting on the counter, and
I
the apple.
understand
What?
preservatives are in there. I understand preservatives are in there, but it's still some nutrition to give you some sort of energy and some sort of vibe where you stay alive for the day or for the minute or for the whatever that energy brings. Right? Yes or no?
I just
Whether you like it organic or whether you don't like it keeps you alive. Yes or no?
yeah, it keeps you
Okay.
alive.
So let's stay alive right now. We're just staying alive right now. Okay? Let's stay alive. And once we're alive, we can work out all the other stuff. You get
Okay,
me?
and how do you suggest working out all the other stuff?
No, that's another. That question is all right. We could work it out because we could work it out, right? There's planets that we're gonna go to.
You
There's different stuff that could happen.
okay?
There's planets that could have nutrients that we could grow the foods there and bring it here. All sorts of stuff could happen.
I think you
We could
just
go there.
I think you just widely throwing out stuff out there that right now at
Look,
this particular
my
junction.
whole premise is a wisely thrown out thing. I'm talking about not dying. That's the whole premise of this thing. So let's keep a wisely premise. So say anything, whatever the solution. Let's keep it broad. It could be anything. We're not constrained to any limitation. We going interdimensional. Okay, no restraints on keeping life. How about that?
No
Yeah,
restraint and keeping life.
in this conversation.
All right. Here is a wild thought.
Okay.
Imagine being able to reproduce our bodies, have them stored in some cryogenic center or
Listening.
some
Sorry.
some place
So
where
sorry.
yes,
You're still on the weeds.
I'm not on the
You're
weeds.
still talking about if how we're gonna do it. I'm talking about we did it. What is why not do it or why do it? You get what I'm trying to say? If we do it,
I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what you mean. I'm not understanding what you mean because every time I'm trying to bring up something, you say I'm
yeah,
going off in the weeds. But
right,
how are we gonna? You say if we did it,
do it, you're asking how to do it, right?
but that's what the conversation is
I'm
about,
telling
right? You
you,
say what
get
if, right?
no, it's not. Yeah, I'm talking about what if we did it. So what if we did it? Forget the how we did it.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say? If we did it, what's the cons and what's the pros, right? The cons would be overpopulation. That's the only thing I hear you say so far. What's the other? I told you a good pro would be the eternal experience of all these intelligent beings. But we'd also have a con of like a Hitler still living somehow. So we'd have to work out the psychologicalness of people's power.
Cappy,
You
Cappy,
get what I'm saying? Yeah.
Cappy. You're going off different angles. The original conversation that we start is the what if we could live forever? What if
Okay.
we could stop death?
That's the same premise. Yeah.
That was the premise of the
We're,
conversation. So
we're
if
still on the same premise.
okay, no, because you said I'm going off in the wild weeds when I'm trying to bring up.
Right. But you're going into how we're going to live forever, like building the robots that put our brains
I
in
never
and all.
said
I'm
anything
not
about
talking
robots.
about, I know. You said clones.
Yeah, that's
It's basically a robot. So
no, that's not a
it's all
robot.
I'm saying.
A
What
robot.
we need to be
That's
talking
not a
about.
robot. That's not a robot. You can't. Okay, if we're going to be having a
All right. I
conversation,
won't compare it to a robot.
if we're going to be having a
What I'm saying, Soshahi, is
Cappy,
let
Cappy,
me
Cappy.
back up.
Two
Let
of us
me
have to be talking, right?
readjust.
You
Right. Let
can't,
me readjust.
Cappy, Cappy. If we're
Go
having
ahead.
a conversation, two of us have to talk. You have to speak, and I allow you to. I listen, and then I speak, and you listen. But it seems like you have something in your head, and then when I'm speaking, you tell me I'm going off in the weeds. You brought up something that's very interesting to talk about, but then you just want to fast forward past the process to live it if we were living forever. But you said if we could live forever, what would it look like? And I'm trying to get there with you, but you're just every time I bring up scenarios
Understood.
to
I understand. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Go there then. You have to get there. So
okay,
get there. How would you get there, Sosha?
okay. So we talked about overpopulation. So I'm talking what it would cause if we lived forever. Now, how would we get there? Let's say we could create other avatars of ourselves, right? We created
Okay.
other avatars of ourselves. So we created bodies. We put our bodies from the stem cell research and clone ourselves, and we put that into some cryogenic center where it sits there, and then we live our lives in one avatar, and we get to a certain age, and when that avatar start breaking down, we go to the center. They transfer our consciousness into a new avatar, right? So when we go into the new avatar, we still have our memories, our experiences, everything that we've gone through from the time we were originally born up until the time where our avatar start breaking down, our joints start to getting fatigue, all these things are happening, right? And we say, okay, we want to look like we are 30 forever or 40 forever. As soon as we hit 40 years old, our original avatar, because all the resources, the money that you talked about, we'd have to put all the monies, and we get to that age, then we go to the center, and then they put us to sleep or whatever process. They bring the avatar, they put us side by side each other. They connect all the gadgets to our head, our bodies, and they transfer everything over to the new avatar. And then when the new avatar um, wakes up, it's us again. So we would be living for another 40 years again in a new avatar. So we'll always be living forever because our bodies may die, but our consciousness, if our consciousness live and we're able to transfer it to a new body, we are living forever. And we just keep
Okay.
rinse and repeat.
Fair enough. That's how you got there.
Yes.
Okay. There. Now we're there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cons of everybody living forever, and what's the pros?
The pros, let's talk about the pros first. You mentioned cons and pros, but let's talk about the pros first. The pros is we would have a wealth of knowledge that is still around, still able to be animated enough to and clear enough. We don't have to guess because they wrote something in a book. We won't have to guess that, oh, Bob said this, Tom said that, Joe said this, Jack said that because of what's in their book. That's just one resource, but that's us reading what they said and then having our interpretation of what they said from their books. But if they're around, the pro is that we could actually talk to them and they could say in their that what's in their book is what they actually mean or what they didn't mean, just in case it's misconstrued, remixed, and then represented back to us in a different way. Joe, John, Tom, Jack, whoever that
Do
person
you
is
think
could say
that
that they said this and that's what they mean. That wealth of knowledge would always be around. So that's one of the That's one of the pros. Sorry.
do you think that being inspired without the source really specifically saying, "Hey, go do this," is maybe a better way than if the source was here to say, "Hey, go do this"?
Repeat that question again.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I'm hearing you clearly.
A
Repeat.
lot of our inspiration
Mm-hmm.
comes from interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think if someone fixed your interpretation, quote unquote, right, in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
that it would influence you to do better or worse? You get what I'm saying? Like, hey, nah, man, whenever I mean that, I'm not going to be. What do you mean? What you took it like that? You understand?
Mm-hmm. I
Took it
understand.
and ran with it and created something either amazing or you built a life fucked up around a dumb mindset that somebody else thought of, that you thought because they were successful, they just put that in a book someplace and now you got to run with it. You get me?
I get you. I get you. So
So,
how would we
is the
go ahead?
way of inspiration better than if you had the real source to fix your inspiration, and then would you be inspired to keep moving and build better?
Yeah, because we'll have the actual source around that can say, "Hey, that's what I really meant." That's a positive.
Okay.
And
No negative.
go
No
ahead.
negative.
All right,
No negative.
the negatives now is that same person could become so insane about living forever, and because they have the knowledge for history and understanding and they're the same person running the same business doing the same things, they could be able to control the masses with ease because they know history, they've been around,
So
they're the ones that's
I
doing
like
it.
that you said that. I was about to wonder about generational growth and would that affect the ecosystem of how we transfer our nest to the next generation. You get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
And then we would probably have to think on what are we transferring to the next generation then, because now it's not about wealth transfer anymore. It's everybody build a shit, even your kids. feel me?
I beg to
Or
differ. I beg to differ.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Wealth will always transfer. Even now that we don't have people being able to transfer their consciousness that we know of, I'm not saying that it's not happening, but that we know of, right? I think, and it's a fact, so it's not just me thinking, this is not some theory. Wealth have been transferred from generations to generations. Things have been stolen and given to successors. Things have been created and given to successors. So it's always been transferred. The thing is, it's not just, you don't have to just worry about the wealth being transferred or the things that were stolen being transferred or companies being transferred. You'd have to worry about the same people running the same system forever. Because think, let's throw some politics in this. Let's say the politician, they can live forever. Because if something comes out, the politicians, they're going to want to reincarnate themselves. They're going to want to transfer their consciousness into a new avatar. And
Well,
they will
hold
be
on.
running the
Hold on.
government forever.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So then now we have to get into a whole mindset shift of systems. So processes and systems and rules, right? So of course, I would rather give, because every time they switch up the thing, it's like, okay, do you give the person enough time to create the event to happen? You get what I'm trying to say? You got to get, and are you really serious? So a lot of it is sincerity. A lot of it is if everybody really want the bigger picture. You know what I mean? You still have to appease the person that lost the game. You feel me? Like, how do you appease them? A lot of it is that. So that being said, let's say we came up with a mentality that everybody agreed with, right? Agreed with, forced into. You get me? Not forced into, but it made sense to the point where everybody was like, you know what the fuck? This makes sense to do it this way, right? Somehow it balances where it's a financial and a communal, where I won't say communal because that sounds social, but more of a, yeah, we gonna make life longer for everybody. Feel me?
True. Here's the thing, though.
Anyway.
Here's the thing. Give me a second.
Longer and better, by the way.
Longer and better for whom?
Quality of life matters for everybody. Remember, it's a collective. The whole team got to move. So we all. I'm looking at it like we're all a big fucking tour team, right?
So listen to this.
And we're trapped.
Listen to this. Earlier, you said we're talking about the cons, right? And you saying that life has to move forward for everyone. You and I know we're living in this world right now, in this modern time right now, and you and I know that the elites, they want to remain elites for as long as they possibly can.
Which is a mental issue that we're okay. I'm not mad at being in a controlled situation. What I've found that the system is really a balanced system. I'm not mad at money. I'm not mad at it at all.
You really think the system is balanced?
I think I'm not talking about the what you call it system.
The what system?
Babylon system. Let's talk about that. I'm not talking Babylon. I'm talking the spiritual system.
Okay.
So let me clarify that. Right?
But
so
hold on, let me ask a question first before you clarify that. You say you're not talking about Babylon system, which I understand what you mean when you say Babylon system. You're talking about the current governments across the world and how they operate and how they treat their people, right? You're
Right.
talking about the spiritual, but the spiritual has no control over what people are actually doing to people in the real world. The ones that are the elites or the controlling class, they are the ones that they're the ones that
There are
go ahead.
things that are literally algorithmic, if that makes any sense.
I'm not understanding when you say algorithmic.
Algorithmic.
Okay.
You put a sign there, someone sees it, another result happens, they make a phone call, their system's in place. Um, I remember when we were growing up, I felt like the, I'll say, Babylon system and their enforcers at the time, right,
Mm-hmm.
were very systematic in how they pulled you over. They probably still do it now, but it's a little easier now in the sense of certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm not mad at that growth. Not mad at that growth. But when you drive in other areas, like maybe you're going to like a country hit town in a sense, you still kind of worry about it. You know what I mean? You feel me? The systematic setup.
You were you're
Algo.
talking in terms of the separationists, the ones
Yeah,
that have a superiority complex.
right. I don't know what they have. I don't know what their
They have a
diamond is.
superiority complex. They think that they're better, not knowing that they're not better, and their ignorance is why they think that they're superior based on laws that were put in place to make them feel superior, to give them that illusion of superiority. But on a level playing field, if you put two groups of people together, and you say, okay, on a level playing field, you and this person should be able to accomplish this without no outside assistance, no outside interference, right? They essentially would have to compete without any help from anyone. And then you would know who the superior person or individual or group is or are because they're on a level playing field. See, the reason
Right.
the reason why you made that statement about going in certain towns that they have that mentality, right? Is because they only have that mentality because they're under cognitive dissonance and they have a superiority complex based on what was entrenched and propagated to them, those people
Right.
that are separationists, to think they're better than another group of people, which is all a lie, because on the level playing field we know what the outcome is on a level playing field.
So then this would be the next level. Okay. So what would the elitist? Because it's all still a game, and
Mm-hmm.
if we're human nature and if our nature is still human nature, I think if we live forever, our human nature is going to be our human nature, right?
All right.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to want to be heads of things, heads of companies, big, major things. We want to grow. We want to just evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give them space to do that. Go to space. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Be huge. Ever go. Each person, if we do this right, each person in the world should be able to have a planet for themselves.
How? How does that how is that
There,
possible and how does that make sense for them to have a planet for
well,
themselves?
one, if we do it right, okay, now we're assuming other things than we're just living forever, okay? You ready?
Okay,
I'm putting that into the conversation.
I'll entertain what you're going to say.
Now, this is my get there, okay? You ready?
I'm ready. I'm
This is
ready.
my get. So now we've made it to space. done all of the workable mental issues that we worked out where, human nature still gets to be human nature and they
Mhm.
still feel free. Every single person is free. Nobody's enslaved.
Mhm.
Everybody's moving on their own passion and movements and projects, and also for the good of the whole, everyone living forever vibe,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And working it out.
Mhm.
And they're doing that because space has been opened up, and picture Star Trek, where we're jumping from galaxies to galaxies to where we can now, we're also assuming there's no other place or animals out there that's going to kill us, right? When we go to these places. But let's assume, right?
Mhm.
We're assuming. But each person eventually, if you really look at the math, can get a planet if we find a Earth, a second Earth, a third Earth, a fourth. You get what I'm trying to say?
Oh,
Each
okay.
person can.
Okay. Here's something right now, because it's like you're flying a plane without a pilot, right? So,
All right.
so right now we've been on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, right? And before
Right.
before in this form that we are Homo sapien sapien, we've been uh, changing, evolving for centuries, right, to where we are right now. And
Mm-hmm.
you've heard, and I've seen, and there are people that have heard and seen things that are not of this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, being here, we are still trying to have voyages and have different discussions, different technologies, different crafts, building, trying to go out of space to find other planets with life form like us. But you and I
Mm-hmm.
know, and I've heard of, some of us have seen, like myself, things that are not of this world. But we're not
Right.
able to go to these other places where these aliens or beings from other places come here, but we have not been able to
They
go
were
to
from
them.
other world. I don't know if the thing I saw was from another world.
Well, what I saw what I saw a couple of times when I was young, till this day, I've yet to see a craft that move like these crafts that I saw. I've yet I've yet and I've seen it when I was younger until this day, right? I like to say I'm 100 years old. I always joke around, right? You know this, right? That I've been around for so long, and yet I've never seen any craft that any government in this world that we live on, that we call Earth, have created yet. We know we have stealth craft that can fly, and you don't really, they're undetected by any of the technologies and of the radar sensors that we have, right? But they still make
Yeah.
sound. And what I saw, and what the whole community and all of us that was looking up on these crafts saw, they didn't make any sound. They move in unison, unlike anything I've ever seen at that time and still now. And I've spoken to people that say that they've seen things that they can't describe. They can draw it, but they can't describe it because they didn't hear anything. All they saw was the glimmer of light. They looked up and saw these things floating over, and it was not a Goodyear blimp. It doesn't
Mm.
move like a Goodyear blimp. It come
Okay.
on. So how are we now, with what you're saying,
Go
gonna
chat.
go off and find planets that everyone on this earth is gonna have a planet for themselves? It's quite unlikely, quite it's improbable. I would almost go as far to say it's impossible for us to find planets that everyone on this earth is going to own a planet when we live on this earth and we don't own the planet ourselves individually. And when we buy a house and we buy a piece of land, we don't really own the land. The powers that be own the land because we have to pay taxes for the land. And if we don't pay taxes for the land, they take it from us. So how are we going to go own a planet?
Okay, let's not look at money right now. We're looking at life living forever and doing it in a way that is solvable for the population problem. So this is say, again, we're just going with an imaginary situation that we found a planet to each person because it's possible with the infinite amount of planets that's out there, right? 7 billion is big on Earth for each person, but 7 billion ain't really nothing to the solar system.
All right. So you mind if I ask you one question before you you continue? Okay. We have 7 billion. We're closer to 8 billion people on this planet. If my numbers are right, I could look it up to be absolutely correct to know the actual real number. I could do that, right? However, why would we assume that why would we assume that these other planets don't have their indigenous life form that would have a big problem? We come in there and try to put a flag saying that we own this planet. And you, indigenous people, don't own this. We control it.
Fair enough. Listen, that's fair enough. That's another solution that we got to come up with, right?
Solution?
But, yeah, because if it's a real situation, all right, what's the real situation? We go into another planet. Are there people there? There's nobody there, maybe. Most likely, because we don't see them.
That's a far-fetched assumption that there's not going to be indigenous life form and that planet when we are living here and we're searching for our origins, right? We're searching for our origins to say that we're going to go to another planet and we're going to assume that there's no other life forms there.
I'm being very egotistical as a human nature. Let's say that, and there's nobody else out there.
I think you're being super optimistic.
Right. So let's say that I'm being very optimistic. There is no other other things when we touch these planets. That's life forever. Is that cool for everybody so far? Now let's work with the indigenous when we get there. Is that cool so far? We got a planet for each person. Does that solve the space issue?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So you're asking me
now
to,
here's the
wait, hold on. You're asking me to agree with you saying that we're going to assume that there's no life form there, right? That's what you're asking me to agree with you on, right?
Yeah, right now I'm asking you to do that.
I will entertain you.
Okay. So here's the issue. So you get to all of that and you live forever for billions of years, and guess what happens?
Tell me.
The universe explodes. The galaxy explodes.
Come on.
It does.
No, wait. You said you were meditating this morning, right?
That's where I got to. I got to the explosion. I was like, oh, shit. You can't even fucking fight it all the way through because eventually the universe dies.
Okay. When I say okay, I'm not in agreement with you. I'm just saying okay because that's my default reaction, right? So, with all of what you're saying, hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. I need to adjust my mic, right?
Okay. Can I explain it in a simpler term?
Yeah.
Ready?
Continue.
You see how the earth fat we up to eat we?
Yes, okay.
The universe a fat up the earth to eat it.
Hey, Kat, I'm going to ask you a really serious question, right?
Don't ask me. Coming out, I tell you.
No. You don't have to answer. I'm going to ask it. When you were meditating, when you were meditating, did you have some shrooms or some weed?
Eye level. I know the on a eye level.
You had some. You mixed some shrooms and some weed together, and
I on the eye levels with the eye and the eye and the eye. Why
Hey,
not stop for the most?
hey, listen. I don't smoke. I'm not a drinker. Uh, and I will say this: even if Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, uh, who else I could bring out? Okay, I mentioned three billionaires, right? All
No,
got together and say,
that's
"Hey, I'm going to give Soshai all of our money, right? All of our money." So now I'm the first trillionaire. I'm the first trillionaire, right? I would not
okay.
smoke what you were smoking. I want you smoke to to have these kind of outlandish uh making these outlandish statements. I it's I like having conversation with you, but this one this one took the cake, Abby.
Well, it's a level. So now we got an issue of explosion and universal galaxy explosions and galaxy dying. So do we keep the galaxy alive, or do we just let the Most High do what He do with that, and we just skip galaxies by going interdimensional?
Okay. First we have to figure out how we're going to be interplanetary. First we have to figure out how we're going to safely go from Earth through these light years and still be young enough to get there to be able to do even remotely close, not even close, but remotely any possible takeover or invasion of any other life form with the species that may or may not be there, or even if the planet is barren, barren of life, not of resources, and the possibility that we can actually live there, right? And we
Uh-huh.
go there, we still would have to bring the 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 the
Resource.
invention and the resources. We would still have to excavate the land to get the proper elements out of it so we can build there, so we won't have to take it from earth there to be able to do it. We have to bring the technology, and obviously we have to bring some of the mechanics of doing it there to be able to actually accomplish it, right? But that would take like 50, 60, maybe 100 years to be able to do that, right? Maybe let's be minimalistic here. 10 years to be able to, because we have the technology already to go there and build up a community. But that would be a vast planet, right? If it's remotely the size of Earth, right?
Uh-huh.
It still would be a vast planet. But let's say it's one and a half or twice the size of Earth. That's a large planet for people to multiply in. That's a large part of the people on this planet Earth to get in a craft and go there through all the light years and still be young enough, right, to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Our children would probably be the ones enjoying the fruit of our labor because we'll put in all the time and energy and traveling. That's where going back now to having other avatars where we can transfer our consciousness into those other avatars. So when we get to these planets that you're talking about that has no indigenous life form, for us to be able to enjoy, build, and grow and grow families and enjoy this new planet that, let's say, we call it Earth 2, or use one of the names that we've heard in TV,
Earth, Earth
Andromeda.
8 billion.
Andromeda,
Earth
right?
8 billion, because it might be a billion people that need a planet each, so they don't piss each other off. Roommates, all of those type of things get in the way.
Do you
Human
know?
nature.
Okay, we live on Earth, and even though they're touting that Earth is overpopulated, it's a large lie. It's a big lie. The planet is not overpopulated, because if you travel to different places, right? you can jump in a car and just drive across the United States, and you see how much free land there is that there's no one living there, right?
The land is not.
What?
Somebody paid for that. The land is not
Okay,
free.
okay. Listen. It's free land. It's only paid
Well,
for because hold on.
yeah,
Hold on.
it was
Hold
cultivated.
on. It's only paid for because the elites say we own this, right? The government say we own this and we are going to take it, right? It's
Right.
the
I'm good.
creators gave this to
So
every
sorry.
living
Oh,
form that's
yeah,
on
when you
this
finish,
land,
we talk. Yeah.
right? The creators give the land to every living life form on this earth, but a certain group of
Right.
people believe that they own and control it, so they're the ones that should determine who owns the land. But I'm not talking about money or who owns the land because they paid for it. I'm talking about the land if no one paid for it using your same uh, 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 the same verbiage that you use about going to these planets and there's no indigenous life form on it. Using your same verbiage or your same understanding of
Mhm.
what you would like to actually
Right.
happen, right?
So
So
let's look at indigenous.
hold on. So this planet is not overpopulated because there's so much
Okay.
land that people are still not living. When you go in these cities and you see these high rises, there's so much people in those cities, right? Going with the hustle and bustle of life. But if they go out in the rural areas, there's so much land, and if no one own it and people could just live where they want to live and still live a
Mhm.
fruitful life, still be able to eat, live, sleep, the peace and tranquility that they want, everybody would have somewhere
Yeah.
to live. So to go to another planet, even if we took 1 billion people and took them to another planet, they still there still would be a long time before they even populated enough to say they're remotely close to the population on Earth.
Okay.
Even the fact that we live on Earth and we're fighting for resources, we're pillaging and plunder and going to war for resources. Look at what's going on right now with in Israel and
Wait.
Palestine. Look what's going on
Let's not.
between
Hold
Russia.
on. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's not get into the mentals of what people are doing right now. We're trying to just live forever and live forever in peace. That would be dope if we could do that.
Not possible.
And we're trying to live for. Again, I think it's possible. And you know, appreciate all the beauty in life. You know, that's what we're trying to do. So being able to appreciate the beauty, and I'm sure everyone has that ability to appreciate the beauty of life.
Hmm.
It's a common interest for us to work together to live forever.
Okay.
You don't want your people to pass. You don't want your, you know what I mean? You don't want your, and then again, we work out all the mental issues of why it can happen, why it can't happen. All of that is all work outable from what I see.
Okay.
Now, going to the other planets and finding indigenous, that's a whole nother conversation that we can talk about another time if you want. But I got a client that I gotta go see. So I don't know how you end your conversation,
Well, it's a
but
good chat, and as I like to say, right? We think and say, question everything. We have to question
I'm,
everything and talk
it's
about
a
it.
question. It's a
What?
question. It's a question. What if we could live forever?
Yes,
What's the
it's a
pros and
question,
cons, and why don't we do it?
but it's a
Now,
question.
should we do it? What this conversation ends, what
Mm,
can we get an answer? What do you think we should do? Should we live forever and let it and or fix it if we can, or should we let it keep going as it is?
we all would like to live forever. This is why
No.
we.
I'm asking, what do you think we should do? Not what do we like.
I think we should.
Those are the pros and the cons. You saw the pros and the cons.
I think
What do you think
I think we should.
so far? Because we still got a pencil going into the other planets.
I
So so far, what do you think we should do?
I think that we should live the course of our lives for however long we're here for on this planet. We should live the course of our lives and allow our our children, which are our successor, and in some ways I like to say they are our reincarnation, right?
Mm-hmm.
To come up, grow up to be adults, whether they're going to be good, upstanding individuals or they're going to be the degenerates in society, whichever choice they want to make, it's going to happen. We should we should not try to figure ways to live forever, even though people are doing it and trying to figure it out. I believe so, but we still have to give each new generation. We have to give our children the opportunity to live a productive and useful life. Like I say, hopefully that's what they decide to do: live a productive and useful life, or they become the degenerates of society. But you have to have a pro and a con in everything. So you have the degenerates and you have the productive people, right?
Well, stop for a quick second, Sosha. Forget all of the issues that comes with human nature and their traumas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you a question. If we solve those trauma issues, would you and seeing what we just talked about,
Mm-hmm.
would you choose to live or would you choose to invent the machine that made you live forever? How about that?
If I could invent a machine to make me live forever, that's a really good question. Would I do it?
And for everybody, not just for you. I'm saying for everybody.
Would if I could live
Don't
forever?
you don't choose the machine and be like, yeah, I'm holding it for
I
myself.
got you. I
Like
got you. I got
like
you.
what's his name that chop your head off and what was that movie called? When they win and they chop your head off, they live forever, but you gotta face the next guy. And then
I don't know the name of the
when they
movie. I really don't.
it was a swords movie, so they had to fight each other versus sword. And then when the one lost, the other one got their head chopped off. And then when their head got chopped off, he absorbed his life, which was forever. But now he gets more power.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
oh, you're talking about that the show that I know the name. I know it now that you're talking about where they say
Anyway,
it can only be one. Uh,
yes,
it,
that's that. We're not talking that. You didn't get the machine to only invent it for yourself. This is life for everybody. Okay, so you're not hogging it. The elites is not in charge of it. You get me? This is everybody's got it. Do you give it to everybody? Now that you know everything that we talked about today.
like I say, hold on.
So you're saying no. You don't want to invent life forever.
Just like the person, right, that created AI, right?
Hmm.
He said that the fact that he created I believe
Hmm.
he said it was a mistake, right?
I know. I read it. Hmm.
Okay. So even though he created AI for the use and the betterment of humanity, he regretted
Right.
it because he see what's going to happen. And I've spoken to people, and they asked me, "Hey, what do you think about AI?" And I said, "I think we are creating our own destruction because we are sentient beings, and at some point when they become so intelligent where they don't need us
Sorry.
to help them
Hold
make a
on. Sorry.
decision."
I wanted to talk to you about the quote, but I did want to order some food. So can I order some food before?
Mute your phone if you're going to be talking to someone else.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Hmm.
All right. They're about to close. Thank you. Just the egg and cheese with the hash brown. That's the one where I put it together, not where you guys put it together. Yeah, and that's it. Um, in fact, no cheese, just eggs. Yeah. Plain white. Yeah. Thank you. Soshahi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
read to you. I'm going to read to you what Gregory Hinton said. Right? He's the
Yeah.
He's one of the creators of AI. He's touted to be the godfather of AI. Right? Right.
Right.
So he's one of the pioneers. A pioneer of AI is Godfrey Hinton. Okay, he said artificial intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says the artificial intelligence enhances machine might take over if humans aren't careful. He said that October 11th, 2023, according to the Gregorian calendar 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he, Godfrey Hinton, created something that he thought would be useful. So you're asking me if I could create a machine that would allow us to live forever if I would create it, right?
Right.
Let's
Right.
say I did not know about Godfrey, Godfrey Hinton, and I was
Hey,
one of
I'm
the
great. Hold on. Sure. Just some water. I appreciate that. And yes, please. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
let's say I was one of the founding pioneers of life
Hey.
life long lasting machine, right?
Right.
Would I
Mm-hmm.
create it for everyone?
That's the next question, right? Because you're looking at Hitler, you're looking at all the evil people that could come out, right? So there's a percentage of the population that's that. Now, do they think like that? Thank you. You know what I mean? Are they changeable? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
gotta believe.
You definitely have to consider Hitler and King Leopold and all these Genghis Khan and all these people that did that did some very evil things to people.
Well,
So if
then
they
you'd
could
have
live
to then
forever,
consider that
what you
the,
said?
you'd also have to consider that the intelligence of people would grow too. They would understand the cycling of marketing. They would understand influence. They would understand decision making. They would understand good decisions, bad decisions.
All right,
You'd have to put that into
here's this. No, no, I'm not gonna put that in play. Here's why I won't put that into play. Because
play.
right now, there are people that's living on this planet, and what's going on this planet, most people are powerless, right? Money controls everything. I'm gonna make this point. I'm gonna make this point, right? I asked someone a few days ago. I asked someone today. I said, uh, what does slavery, religion, and capitalism have in common? In common, let's flip it around. What does religion, slavery, capitalism have in common? What does capitalism, religion, and slavery have in common? You want to know?
I'm listening.
They're the exact same thing. I said to the person I was talking
Not
to,
necessarily.
hold on,
I disagree.
hold on. I said to the person I was talking today, religion and capitalism are on the left side and the right side, and slavery is in the middle. It's a three-headed dragon on the same body,
Mm.
right?
Now,
So
here's the one.
the people that's here right
Mm-hmm.
now can they don't want to read. Most of us don't want to read. All we want to do is be told what to do. There's a saying that says people don't know what they want, so we give them what they think that we think they want. And usually, in many cases, people will accept what they're told. This is why you have so much propaganda. You, as someone can tell you that the
So
sky
let me
is
ask you,
red when the
everything that
sky is
you
really
just said
blue, and you'll believe it with enough propaganda.
is everything that you said to me. Can can that be retaught?
Repeat.
Can everything you told me, everything that you just, all the negative energy that you gave to that, can it be retaught?
What negative energy I gave to?
The fact that you think it's slavery,
That all
can
three
it
of
be
them are the
retaught?
same. That slavery, capitalism, and religion is the same.
No.
It's a three-headed
Yes.
dragon.
Let's say no. I don't. Let's say I don't agree with you 100%. But what
Okay.
I'm saying is, can capitalism be retaught to where everybody's the owner of it?
Then that wouldn't be capitalism.
What would it be?
That would be socialism.
No, because everybody got to do their ownership stuff. They got to do their stuff. They own it, and they're. Thank you
If
very much.
everybody owned,
I do want catch up, and I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. Hello.
do you know what? You ever heard this? The term scarcity heuristics.
What?
Scarcity heuristics.
No, I have not heard
Okay,
that
I'm
term.
going to explain. When you see, okay, why would you? What's your favorite car?
Favorite car?
Yes.
I don't know yet.
Okay. What's your favorite clothing brand?
Rich by God.
Okay. All right. So when
Thank you.
you put out,
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. It's supposed to be a bagel.
I don't have any bagel.
A bagel is? Mm.
I can get you a bagel, but I don't have a plate.
What do you got?
Everything coffee or marble.
Let's try marble.
Marble. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry.
let's not use Rich by God for a second. I want something more broader that everybody can understand
Okay.
because
Let's try Polo. Ralph Lauren.
okay, Polo. Why would you? Let's say Polo puts out a new line, and it's a limited line, and it's only 1,000 pieces. And in those that 1,000 pieces, right, they're going to put a value on it that's going to say it's going to have a value that if it's held for a certain period of time, it excuse me, it will go up in value. Would you rush out and try to get one of those
All of
pieces?
it. Right. All of it.
You try to go out
Yeah.
and get all of it, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And why would someone see you in the store going out to buy all of it, rush you, and try to take one or two or whatever amount they want from you? Why would they do that?
Why would they rush you? Why would they want to steal it from you?
Yeah, if 1,000 pieces came out like you said, right? And you
Mhm.
said you want to, I said 1,000 pieces, and you said you want all of it. Why would you want all of it? And why would a person seeing that you're trying to get all of it try to get some from you or get one from you? Why?
Value, because it goes up in value.
Right. So because it's valuable, because it's limited, it's
Mhm.
scarce. You can't necessarily get
Mhm.
it because it's limited, right?
Right.
And the heuristics part about it is that you want it because it's scarce. So you're going to do what you have to do to get it. It's scarce, so you want it. That's scarcity heuristics. So this is why people will go out and buy a car.
Hold on.
Hold
Hold on.
on. This is why people will go out and buy a expensive car because not everybody
Mhm.
can afford it. This is why you'd want the entire 1,000 pieces because you know
No,
the
no, no,
value
no,
and
no,
not
no, no, no,
everybody
no,
could
no.
have it.
That's not true. That's not true. Not all the
What's
time.
not
That
true?
truth is not 100%.
What?
Because there's certain cars I do like, and I like it not because it's expensive and another person can't afford it.
You're missing
I
the
like it
point.
because of the design,
You're
the
missing the
art.
point. We're not
Yo,
talking. We're not talking just specifically you. I used you as an example,
hmm
but I'm talking in general, right? I'm not talking
Okay.
anecdotally. I'm talking in general. So in general, people go after things that they know they can't afford. This is why many of us are in debt because we go out after things that we know we can't afford just to look like we can afford it. This is why the rich stay rich and the poor stays poor because the poor will
Okay.
spend money to look
Thank
rich and the
you.
rich will avoid spending money to look poor, right? So because of
Mm-hmm.
scarcity heuristics, the poor will go after something that they consider valuable because they want to look like they can afford what it is that they really can afford just because they want their neighbor to look at them with jealousy. That's what scarcity
I don't
heuristics
know.
is.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe the poor has evolved.
No, Cappy, the poor has never evolved. The poor will always be poor because they
So
want.
maybe the poor have good taste, and they say, "Yo, I like a quality leather, whatever." You know what I mean? I like
Listen,
a dope popping
listen to what you just said. You said maybe the
mhm,
poor has evolved, and the poor say they want a dope leather jacket or outfit, right? Because they like
mhm.
quality.
I
What's
like
the
the feeling of it.
what's the first sorry,
I was
what's the
actually they
second
have good
hold
taste.
on, Cappy.
Hmm?
What is the second word that you use in that statement?
The poor has evolved.
No, the second word. Listen to the statement that you made, and what's the second word?
By the way, this
No, no, no,
whatever this
Cappy.
is.
Cappy, stay with me, please. In the statement, the
Hmm.
poor has evolved. What's the second
Hmm.
word?
I don't know.
In the statement, the poor
Poor
has evolved.
has evolved.
What's the
Has
s- what's the second word in the poor has evolved? In that statement, what's the
has
second? Really?
has
No, Cappy.
the
Listen,
poor the
listen.
poor.
The
Okay, the poor
no, no,
poor
no,
has
Cappy.
evolved.
No, Cappy, Cappy.
Second word is poor.
Exactly, Cappy.
Okay.
So the poor has not evolved because the
You
fact
did
that
all
you
of that.
say
Tell me.
because you say what if the poor has evolved? They're poor, not the rich. They did not
Mm.
evolve to become rich. They're poor. The poor has evolved because they say they like that nice leather jacket. They like quality. They're poor. So they are going to buy what they can't afford because they want to look like they can afford something that they truly can't afford because they want their neighbor
Or
to be
they
jealous.
like
That
the
is called
leather.
scarcity heuristics because they want their neighbor
Okay,
to
hold.
be jealous that it's limited and they're the only one that can buy it. They're the only one that have it.
Or they like the leather.
What?
Or they like the feel, the look, the design. What about those things? You don't consider that being a deciding factor. You just keep
But they're
thinking
still
that they're
poor,
just trying to
Cappy.
show
They're
off on their
still
friends.
poor, Cappy. They want
Okay,
us to look.
but
They
that's
want to
not what
look
they're.
rich. They want to make people around them think they can afford it, and they're the only ones that can afford it. They want the people to
What
feel.
I'm not arguing that there are people like that. I'm also arguing that there are people like me that like dope stuff. That maybe I couldn't afford it. Or I can afford it. You never know.
Okay, repeat that. Repeat
But
what you
anyway,
just said.
hmm?
Repeat what you just said.
I am saying that people are out there that are not just buying on trying to impress other people. They're buying on this actually like that design, that brand, that feel, that taste, that touch.
You know what you
You
just
know?
you know what you just described?
What's that?
A merchandiser. You just described a company that knows exactly how to market to the customer. You just described a genius that knows exactly how to tap into the wants and desires of the individuals and people that they're trying to sell to because they want to
Business.
They
Nothing is
want
wrong
their
with that.
business. They want their resources, but they are
Right,
still
yeah.
poor people. Cappy. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
You're enjoying your food. What is it that you're eating, by the way? Let the people know.
Oh man. So let me big up Diane's kitchen in
No,
Coral
no, no, no,
Springs.
no, no, no. We're not bigging up. We're not bigging up anybody. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not supporting what we're doing. We're not bigging up anybody. I'm asking you exactly what you're eating.
You opened the conversation up.
No,
So
shout outs to Diane, but we're not giving her business any.
you never know. They could be a good partner.
We don't know. When we get there, then we can do that. We
We
can
could
have
have breakfast and have think and safe.
a,
Do breakfast and think and safe.
okay. So again, I ask, what is it that you're eating, so the people can salivate over what you're eating.
So I have some hash browns, some
Hmm.
scrambled eggs. They make the best eggs there, by the way.
Awesome,
Um,
awesome.
great, great. I got this was normally I get the plain bagel, but
Okay,
this was a
okay.
swirl bagel,
Ah,
some cream cheese. By the way, what was the name of this bagel? No, the bagel. Marble. Okay.
marble
Thank you.
bagel, and
Yeah.
and what you're having that with chicken,
Good.
fish,
It's
with
a marble.
and you're having that
I
with
like
fish
it.
or chicken.
Marble. Marble. Not marble.
Right.
Marble.
Marble,
Spell it.
marble bagel. And what are you having that with, chicken or fish?
Yeah. Marble.
Okay, marble. What are you having
Marble
that with,
bagel.
chicken or fish?
There is no fish or chicken. There's no swim around or chicken in
Okay,
my plate.
okay,
Right now, it's just egg and uh, some hash browns with some ketchup and some, a marble bagel
okay.
with cream cheese, which is really nice.
All right.
Good breakfast. Good. What am
So
I? What time is it? Like 2 o'clock?
no, I believe it's like 3:15, 3:17, or somewhere around that. So on that note,
Mm-hmm.
here's what I'm gonna allow you to go and enjoy your
Mm-hmm.
food, because it sounds like you're really enjoying your food, and I want you to enjoy your food. So enjoy your food, and
So did we
w-
table the part where we we are going to colonize these different Earths, and we can go and how we can work with colonizing without being a bad colonizer?
well, here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Wait. We're not going to keep going. We're just
No, no,
going to
no. We're not
ask if we
gonna.
can keep.
I'm gonna answer you.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna smoke your mixture of weed and shrooms.
There's no we. I don't know why you keep
I'm
thinking.
just saying. All I want you to do is keep meditating and think and say, and always remember to think before you say and question everything. And on
I'm
that note,
questioning
my
you.
friend, I'm gonna bid you goodbye, and we'll talk again. Right? Enjoy your food.
All right, y'all.
All
Talk to
right,
y'all
man.
later.
Take care. Question everything.